I almost didn't put a wrestling shirt on, and then I was just like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing.
You know what I mean? I was
like,
just
maybe I won't wear a wrestling shirt today. And I'm like, no, I'm kind of dedicated to wearing a wrestling shirt every time someone sees me talk about wrestling. So
I'm like, yeah, like there's no reason for me not to.
Yeah,
like
we have
where
enough.
else am I gonna wear them?
We have enough.
I always have one clean. Like I always have at least one clean.
Oh, I've got
like I always have
clean.
at least multiple clean.
I could not do laundry for a month and still have a wrestling shirt for every single day. It's absurd. But
I don't think I have that many yet.
Oh, I've got a lot. I've got a lot.
Anyway.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Burning Hammer podcast. I'm your host, Mark Izzo, and sitting beside me is your other host, Dillon O'Brien. Dillon, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? We're here. We are live in my home.
That's right.
And we are recording the podcast live and in person for the third time ever. And like they say, the third time is the charm, because this is the place we plan on staying for the foreseeable future. With this background, this beautiful fireplace behind us, big gold right between us, and
Beautiful.
you know, obviously you got some fun stuff up in the background as well. Everything you see here, this is the look that that we're looking to bring you on a weekly basis moving forward for the foreseeable future. And our next big upgrade, hopefully, once we get out of this situation, would be into an even better studio, at least a building or room dedicated to that. But we are so glad and happy just to have this wonderful setup behind us. It's honestly pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it's a big improvement from our past two setups, and so hopefully this is going to be our home for every time we record the podcast. So get used to seeing all this stuff. Get used to seeing Big Gold, the best looking championship in WWE history. With that being said, let's transition, because we're going to get right down to it today. Because today we're going to talk about the Bloodline story as a whole. Now, if you think back to the start, Roman Reigns returns, SummerSlam 2020. He made his triumphant return, and I remember me and Dillon and a couple of our other friends were sitting actually right upstairs watching SummerSlam, and Roman Reigns came out. He messed everybody up. He had a shirt that said "Wreck everyone and leave," and we were like, "Oh my god, dude! Wait, does that mean he's heel? He's look at his shirt."
Yeah, we were like, that is a heel shirt. That is a heel shirt.
Yeah.
People who are baby faces do not say "wreck everyone and leave."
And then
they don't say that.
He wrecked everyone.
And he left. And
so
then,
that's really where.
then a month later, he became the Universal Champion.
Yeah.
In a triple threat match. That was against Bray and Braun, right?
Yep.
And then, and he has held that title ever since.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about truly how long he has held the titles. Like, I'm sure it's tough to really put into words like how monumental his reign currently is. It's literally once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And he may hold it until WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
Which I'm not quite sure how I feel about that yet. Right now, it's fine. I'm okay with it, because I don't know if there's going to be a bigger stage for him to lose the title. But we'll talk a little bit about who should be the person to dethrone Roman in a little later in the episode. But like we said, it started SummerSlam 2020. SummerSlam's the next premium live event for WWE. It looks like we're going to get Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I think not only for the undisputed title, but for also to see who's going to be the tribal chief.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're going to do. And it's something we've talked about for months.
Yeah. And main event Jey, if they're not going to give him the title, they at least need to give him the title of tribal chief.
Yeah.
And how we get there, I'm not exactly sure. But, yeah, I mean, this is the match that, really, if Cody won the title at WrestleMania. And listen, I still think Cody winning at WrestleMania, I'm not going to say which would have been the smarter or better move. Who knows at this point? I really need to see how this Bloodline storyline ends. But it easily still could have been perfectly fine if they put that title on Cody at WrestleMania as of right now.
So,
and where I'm kind of at with that is the one thing is, you know, if they put the title on Cody, does the tag team match we just got, does that hold the same weight? You know what I mean? Does Jay versus Roman coming up, does that match even matter, or do we even get it? You know what I mean? It's these matches, and this is obviously the story they wanted to tell. They were like, we can't have Roman lose the title while the Bloodline is still together. That's just not, it doesn't make sense that way. So, with that being said, it's still up in the air on whether that was the right decision or not, because who knows how this is going to end. But, dude, I'm not going to act like I would be disappointed if they decided to call the audible and have main event Jay go over at SummerSlam. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. I don't think it's likely to even happen. But I think it's more likely than people think. I think that's my only thing. I don't think it's going to happen. I think most people think that there's a 0% chance it happens. I think that there's like a 2.5% chance it happens.
I'm interested to see what the odds are for Jey Uso winning from betonline.ag, not a sponsor, but that's where you can bet. Not in the United States, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's interesting because at the time, obviously, like everyone else on the planet, we were very upset when Cody didn't win. It felt like that was the moment, that was the time, and after that, we were like, all right, we're going to wait and see. Like, you have to wait and see. Mm-hmm. Like, you can be upset in the moment, but you have to wait until you cast your final judgment. I think, as it stands right now, for me, it feels like it was the wrong choice because it feels like everything that's happening with the Bloodline, Roman doesn't need to be the champion for. Like, even with him going up against Jay, they can just have everything with, like, Jay wanting to be the tribal chief. Like, I don't think they necessarily need the title. And I think there's a good chance that they don't wrestle for the title at SummerSlam. I think it could be something where it's like, Jey Uso's just like, listen, Uso, I saw what that title's done to you. It messed you up in the head. So I don't want that title. What I want is the title of the tribal chief. And, like, we could just get him one-on-one just for the tribal chief. And
I just don't see how we get that, though. I don't see how you, like, just... I understand what you're saying, but I also don't see how, like, Jay can just be like, I don't care about the title. Like, if you're gonna... You already pinned him. Like, Jay already pinned him.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think he can just... I think it's something where he could be like, having the title of the tribal chief is more important to him. Like, maybe it's something like Roman's just like, I don't want to defend my title against you.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the only way where they could actually do it. And I think it's another interesting thing in, like, the Bloodline story is there's so many different elements to it that have happened over the past couple of years with Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sammy, like, Solo Sikoa. There's been so many things. And Paul Heyman. And I think that right now, we said it before, but the Bloodline is within the actual Bloodline. Like, the feud is within their family. And I think that there's a good chance that Solo Sikoa could come out on top in this thing. I think it's either going to be Solo or Cody who's going to dethrone Roman. I don't know when. That's the thing I'm sort of trying to figure out. At this point,
dude, I am 95% sure it's going to happen at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen at SummerSlam, it's probably going to happen at Mania.
I mean, why, like...
And we'll get to watch it.
And that's what I said. I was like, it's all for us, for the people. It may not be worth it, but like I said last year, I kept telling myself, as Cody did not finish the story, one of our favorite wrestlers, Cody Rhodes, who we followed on the independent circuit and followed him as he left WWE and did his ventures.
A big reason why we watched AEW.
Yeah,
is because it's a Cody Rhodes like company that he started. Essentially.
Yeah, and we're just such massive Cody fans. So that loss definitely sucked.
It stung. Especially
stung,
given
yeah,
the environment
for sure.
we were in, because we watched it
yeah.
with a bunch of friends and everyone was fired up.
Yeah.
Especially after Sammy
Well,
and
especially,
KO
yeah,
won.
after night 1, and then you go into night 2 like
Bro,
that.
We were so fired up.
I think the biggest thing, at least we did get match of the year on night 2 with that triple threat.
Yeah.
But that's for another day. But yeah, that stung, but I just kept telling myself, I was like, I guess it's all so we can watch Cody finish the story in person in Philadelphia, at Lincoln Financial Field, that's the home of WrestleMania 40. Me and Mark are absolutely going to be there.
That's right. It's our hometown.
Philadelphia. We've been waiting for this pretty much. Never thought it was going to happen, honestly. I didn't think they were ever going to come back here for WrestleMania just because they've been so focused on like the warmer climates. There's a good chance it's not going to be very warm for WrestleMania in Philadelphia next year. Fingers crossed. I think we had decent weather this year around WrestleMania season, so I'm hoping that we get decent weather again because we'll actually be there that time. But like I said, might be the wrestling gods trying to bless the both of us to see Cody Rhodes finish the story in person.
Yeah.
And maybe it could be a similar way to the Burning Hammer, not finishing our story, but really starting our story, maybe even as we as we are on our own road to WrestleMania.
That's right.
Which is, we have a goal of where we want this Burning Hammer as a whole to be by the time WrestleMania gets here and we're there in person. And anyway, so with that being said, I just don't see how Roman loses before the WrestleMania if it's not at SummerSlam, and I just really don't think they're going to put it on Jay. So I just don't think he's going to lose until WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and I think they might have Cody go back-to-back and win the Rumble.
Again?
You could have Gunther win the Elimination Chamber.
No, I think Gunther's going to win the Rumble.
I want him to. Listen, I want him to.
But it's also, I mean, it's fair because it's like, how do we get back to Cody versus
How do we
Roman?
get back to Cody? Yeah.
And so Cody went on, I think it was in possibly an interview or after like an episode of Raw.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him about his thoughts about winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And he said, like, obviously he would love to do that, but he wants to finish his story. And that story involves the title his dad never held, the WWE Championship. So I still think it's probably going to be Cody. I think there's a decent chance it's going to be Solo.
Yeah, the money's still on Cody for me, for sure.
Yeah, and so here's how I think the SummerSlam is going to play out. I think this could be when everything collapses.
Yeah.
Because I think we're gonna get Roman versus Jay, and I think that it's going to be a case of like Jay's going to give Roman everything he can handle. Like Jay's almost going to win multiple times, but then there's always some shenanigans with Solo, maybe with Heyman. And I think after the match when Roman wins, he's going to want Solo to bash Jay and Jimmy, and then Solo's not going to do it. He's going to turn on Roman, and then I think Paul Heyman is ultimately going to go with Solo as well.
Yeah, but the one thing is that Jay did just go crazy on Solo with a steel chair.
Yeah, but I just think like...
Bro, and I love that. I posted it on my story. If anybody follows me, if any of the Burning Hammer faithful, if any of the Burning boys and girls follow me.
Where can they follow you?
On Instagram at Dill O'Brien Wave. Twitter at Dill O'Brien Wave.
That's right.
TikTok at Dill O'Brien Wav. Same thing. I just said it differently there. But yeah, so I put it on my Instagram, but they posted a clip of that on WWE, and it said like, the caption was like, it had to feel good for Jey Uso to get this out or something, and he commented on the thing, and he said, nah, it didn't. Bro,
dang,
that's his brother, bro. That's his little brother, and I love the commitment to this story, bro. For real.
That's like the best part is like. And that's the thing I think he's been most consistent with is, like, everything that's had to happen, he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, everything that, like,
he's
when
like,
he turned on
fuck,
Sammy,
man?
he's like, why'd you make me do that?
Yeah, he's like,
and
come on.
And
yeah.
everything he's done, he didn't want to do. He just felt like he had to.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a huge part of the story. And I think it's just, like, even after they turned on Roman when Jimmy kicked him and, like, the following promo between Roman and the Usos, they were just like, dude, like, we can just still be like a family again.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And so obviously things didn't turn out how the Usos wanted to. But I'm really interested to see like where this story ends. I think it's going to potentially the Bloodline story could end at SummerSlam, maybe a little later in the year. But I think like Roman Reigns' story is probably going to end at WrestleMania 40. If not versus Cody, maybe versus Solo, maybe versus Gunther, because there's reports that Roman is going to have another massive babyface run before his career is done. We'll see how that goes. I don't think they necessarily need to change anything.
They don't. They just need him to come back. They just need, bro. You make Roman a babyface by, This is what you do, bro. This is how they do it.
Well,
you don't have to change it. Don't got to change a damn thing. When Roman does lose the title, he's gone for you need him gone for a while.
He's gonna take a big break.
At least I'm saying 6 months.
Yeah.
He's gonna take a break. If he loses at Mania, he can't come back until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then my thought is that maybe we're in a situation where we got a little the Bloodline. A newly formed Bloodline is kind of doing shit Solo or whatever, Solo and the Usos or something like that, or maybe just the Usos. Or
what if Solo is with Paul Heyman and he's sort of taken on Roman's character, where it's he's the big bad figure, and the Usos are trying to get him back because Solo followed in Roman's shoes, and then Roman comes back to be oh, I went on a journey and I found myself, and I realized things got out of control, and he tries to be with the Usos to stop Solo from making the same mistakes that
I could
he
see
made
that
too.
I was also thinking, if they do where Solo turns on Roman, right, and then we somehow get back to it might not even have Solo might not even have to be involved if he's doing his own single shit. It could even just be Jay in a match or something like that. But some sort of situation where either Jay or the Usos or all three of the other members of the Bloodline are getting beaten down after a match or something, and then the Tribal Chief's music just hits and he walks out, and they're staring at him, and he walks out and he looks at his brothers, and he's and then starts attacking the people that were attacking him, and they're just Roman Reigns has sided back with the Bloodline.
Maybe Imperium could be beating him
down. That's what I was saying. It could be even, dude, if Gunther is the one that beats him for the title, that could be how he comes back with a little bit of action, the Usos are getting beaten down by Imperium and Gunther, and he comes back and joins up with the Usos.
Ooh, that'd be
dude,
sick.
That'd be awesome. Mark and Dillon for WWE Creative.
Yeah, and so the thing...
God, that would be awesome.
I feel like WWE, they feel like they need to make someone face. They feel like they need to change them, to turn them face.
Yeah.
Because, they were talking about, LA Knight, is probably gonna... They say he's gonna turn a face. There's reports that they're gonna make him face. And it's
he is babyface, bro.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what they're what are they gonna do to then make him babyface? You don't need to do anything. Just let him go out there and be LA Knight and beat up on some heels.
Has he not been babyface this whole time?
Technically, no.
What the hell does that even mean? If you're a heel, you don't go, I got everybody saying LA Knight, without a microphone. He does it without a microphone and lets the crowd do it. You don't do that if you're a heel. That just sounds like rubbish to me.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to change anything about LA Knight.
I don't think so either. I think what they're probably going to change is...
They literally post clips of LA Knight on their social media more than anybody. It's insane.
Yeah, and there's been
it's almost getting, kind of annoying, where it's just, stop just, fucking... taking advantage of how over he is on your social media and put a goddamn title on the guy.
Yeah, so what do you... I think it's going to be Theory versus Knight.
I hope so,
Do you think that's what they're going to do?
That's where it feels like we're going to end up, I feel like, but... God, I hope Knight.
They haven't had the U.S. title on a premium live event since...
I mean, give Knight a big win. The people
in
are going to love...
a couple of months.
Yeah.
They haven't had it on the past couple of shows. And I think, because we talked about it before, a few months ago, how, they were starting to put more effort into the mid-card titles with Gunther and Theory. Even at the time, we were like, all right, this is pretty interesting. But I think, like, as the time went on, like, Gunther went all the way up to here, and then Theory's still down here with the U.S. title. I'm over the Theory as U.S. champion thing. I don't think he necessarily needs to, like, go get a new gimmick. I just think he
needs to turn babyface.
He just needs...
I swear a babyface turn would help him so much.
He just needs a little refresh. He needs time away to figure something else out. I don't think they need to completely throw him out, but I just think right now it's not working.
Yeah.
I don't like him with Pretty Deadly. I think Pretty Deadly are way better just by themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times we need to watch Theory beat Sheamus for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
It's starting to get annoying.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see sort of what they do with that. And what do you like? I'm trying to think of the matches they're going to have at SummerSlam, because realistically, I feel like there's 9 or 10 matches that could happen.
Yeah, it feels like
almost
so
every
Roman
title
versus
could
Jay,
be defended.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of at.
And
with
then
it.
you got the 3
and you're gonna get
non-title
Shayna versus
matches.
Ronda.
Shayna versus Ronda, Ricochet versus Logan, Cody versus Brock, Roman versus Jay, Gunther versus McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna probably have Rhea defend her title on the show.
The Usos are not the Usos.
The tag titles will
The
be
tag
on the
titles.
line. You've got Asuka probably in the triple threat match. Like,
yeah, with Bianca and Charlotte.
That's 8 matches. So, like, I don't know. They usually...
That's 8 right there, and then that's without a U.S. title match. So then a U.S. title match would be 9.
Plus maybe
and Rhea.
The women's tag titles.
Yeah.
Rhea, I mean, it's just like, I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know.
12, bro. There's no way they go 2 days at this point.
It's too late now. It's something that they probably should have done.
Yeah.
I think it's something they could do. Maybe like the 4 major shows, they just make them 2 nights.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got enough talent to do
At least Mania and SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't do it for SummerSlam this year.
Yes.
I thought they were going to.
Well,
because SummerSlam last year was like Mania size.
I know. And it's just like, you think about, like, they're probably going to have the titles that weren't on the Premium Live events recently, which is the U.S. title, the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, the tag titles, and then you have like 3 non-title matches that are going to happen. But like, I don't think they're going to actually defend every single title on the show. So it's like, which ones are they going to do? They're obviously going to do Gunther versus Drew for the IC title at SummerSlam. So I'm not sure like what they're going to do with SummerSlam. And I believe that...
You think Drew takes the title of Gunther? I think he might not do it at SummerSlam, but I think he's going to do it.
I think Gunther's definitely going to break the record first.
Yeah. You think Survivor Series? I think Survivor Series, they can make it happen.
Either Survivor Series...
Unless they're going to go back to the Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series, but I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, I don't know. They may, because they had the draft.
Yeah, but Triple H did Survivor Series last year, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but that was also without Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon's pretty much like back telling him what to do now. I don't think they're gonna do War Games this year.
No, they're not. I don't think they are. I think they would have already announced it probably. Or they would have announced it with... Maybe not. They might, but I don't think they're gonna.
I think we would have at least gotten...
They should fucking just make it War Games every year.
I know. War Games is so awesome. A lot of people were hating on War Games on our social media. I put out a video about if it was just like, where's Survivor Series? It's going to be in Chicago. And I was just like, let me know. Do you guys think they should do War Games or not? And everyone was like, no, War Games sucks. Go back to the traditional. It's like, bro.
Did you watch the War Games matches last year?
Awesome. Like, what are we doing?
Dude, both War Games matches last year were fucking awesome, bro.
They're insane. So
actually, fuck you. Fuck anyone who says that. I'm going to go back and watch them soon because they were that awesome.
Yeah, and we actually have AEW Blood and Guts just happened yesterday. By the time you're watching or listening to this, it's next week for us, and I'm super excited to watch that. It's the same thing as War Games.
Yeah.
But what do you like? I don't know what they're going to do for Survivor Series. Do you think we're going to get SmackDown versus Raw? Do you think NXT is going to get thrown in there? Like,
I really think it's just gonna be more storyline based. Honestly, I think. What are the odds? I saw something online, and it made me question it. It wasn't this exact team. It was some sort of team with like the Bloodline, putting the Bloodline back in the Survivor Series match. I'm gonna make this team like the team I thought could be like a little bit different. But it would be Cody. It would be Cody, the tag, Cody, KO, and Sammy, and the Usos versus Roman, Solo, and Imperium.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get that, but I think we could. Or no, sorry. I like it this way better. Seth instead of Cody, because then you can have Gunther go after Seth.
I think there's a good chance that we get one Survivor, like SmackDown vs. Raw 5-on-5 match for the men and the women, and then I think all the other matches could just be more storyline based. I think we probably would get at least one like traditional Survivor Series match.
You would think, yeah.
Do you think there's any chance we can get Seth versus Roman?
I think there's got to be a there's no way that it is off the table. Like, there's no way that they have been like. Well, there's no way. I feel like there's no way that they've completely ruled it out.
Yeah, and I think especially since
it's too big of a match to completely rule out.
There's reports that the Bloodline story is going to come to an end at SummerSlam. Okay. So if those are true, then the Bloodline story is done at SummerSlam. And what's next for Roman? Seth versus Roman could be a good little thing until they start up the next feud, possibly with Solo or with Cody. I think what they're probably gonna do to get Cody Rhodes back to Roman, I think, like you said, he could go back to win the Rumble, but I think there's a good chance Cody Rhodes could just show up on SmackDown.
Yeah, I
and
think
just
so too.
Like, I'm back. And so I think that, or potentially at Survivor Series, or SummerSlam, excuse me, if something like absolutely crazy goes down, like they fully implode and Roman's just down in the ring by himself with his title, like Cody Rhodes could come out and just hit him with this. So, what do you want to talk about, Roman? Yeah. And then that could just like lead to their feud.
Cody versus Solo, and if Cody beats Solo, and he gets a title shot,
that could happen.
And Roman accidentally like costs Solo. But then he's like blaming it on Solo, and then Solo turns.
That's sort of what I think is going to happen in the J match. I think Solo could potentially accidentally cost Roman the match, and then Roman may also turn on him. And we also got a great shot over the segment on SmackDown from 2 weeks ago, where Roman just like played everybody, and he was going to make Jey Uso the tribal chief by putting the red necklace on him, and then. Obviously, that it didn't go the way Jey Uso thought, and then after like the little brawl, Solo Sikoa picked it up and was like staring at it, like I want to be the tribal chief. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see like where they go with this Bloodline storyline, and so I'll say this: now people have been giving the Bloodline story their flowers, and everyone's been obviously speaking very highly of it. I haven't seen anyone really critique it that much. I've been seeing people talk about people critiquing it. I don't think anyone's actually critiquing it. And I think that there is, without a doubt, this is the greatest storyline in professional wrestling history. It's the best storyline we've ever seen. We're in our early 20s. I think it's easily the greatest storyline that there's ever been in professional wrestling. There has never been a storyline A, that has gone this long. B, that has kept your attention for this long.
Yeah.
C, that has so many different moving parts and elements and details,
people,
different chapters. Like, so many things went into this. And there's truly has never been a storyline like it. And I think that there has never been a story told like it.
Well, and it's also the fact that this is a one-of-a-kind, truly revolutionary, legendary wrestling family unlike any other. Yeah. There will never be a family tree as strong as the Anoa'i family tree.
Yeah.
And the Fatu family tree. Like, there just never will be. It's because it's already too in depth. It's too big already, and it's already nonstop. It's the most, you could easily say, one of the biggest, if not most important families in wrestling history. And we finally got that in depth, truly, they truly gave it the time it deserves, like it said, with the amount of time and moving parts that have been put into this story. And it's like, yeah, this is how you do the Anoa'i family justice.
Yeah.
This is how you do it.
Yeah.
You don't rush a storyline about a family that has basically ran the wrestling industry for generations, dude. Like, going back, we are so far into this, dude.
Yeah.
Like, where this family leaving its imprint, leaving its footprint, every single place it's ever been, every single place, everywhere in the wrestling industry. You can't look without finding somebody a part of this family, just doing great things. Like, and it's not like a thing where it's like you got a few legends in the family. Like, of course you do, you know what I mean? Like, you got the big stars in the family, such as The Rock and Roman, but there's no scrubs in the entire family.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Is knows what they're doing and is so good at their art. And it's like I said, this is how you do the Anoa'i family justice, is you give it a storyline, a family that has had this major impact on the wrestling industry, a family that has had, that has, been like as revolutionary as this family has been and made the mark it has. That's how you do it justice, by giving it this time and letting the family, tell the story. And, of course, we've gotten touches of it, throughout the years, within some Bloodline stuff. But obviously, over the last few years, this is the most in-depth and it's ever gotten. And it's just amazing, man. It's beautiful. And I truly believe it's been the most compelling story on television, man. Like, you could call me what you want. I watch a lot of TV, man. Like, and Mark does as well. I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV. Say, like, right behind wrestling, one of my favorite things to do is just, like, nerd out over movies and TV, and Mark even more so than me. And this is one of the most compelling stories I've seen on television. Everyone's talking about the end of Succession. Who in the family is gonna be the tribal chief, bro? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And no hate on Succession. No hate, but I'm just saying.
I've never seen it.
I was more so making a joke, but I'm like, talking about Succession, dog. Who's getting the family business in Succession? Who's gonna be the tribal chief in the Anoa'i bloodline, dog?
Yeah, I mean,
what are we talking about?
No, that's how it's funny because, like, every Friday night, like, I'll just, like, go through social media and I'll just see, like, people are going out and partying, this and that. I'm like, you dumb motherfuckers. The Bloodline history.
You're missing history.
And, like, that's what my cousin Dillon's brother Connor, like, he doesn't really watch SmackDown. And then, like, he was just like, before he was watching the Phillies, and I was just like talking in our group chat about the Bloodline storyline, and he just like said something about, how are you not watching the Phillies? How are you not watching the Bloodline storyline?
Yeah, dude.
Like,
this is
the segment took up half of the show. Like, this is literally the biggest storyline. It's going to be the biggest storyline of our life, and it's the biggest storyline in wrestling history. And going back to what you said, like, it is the most compelling media out there. It's better than any TV show. It's better than any movie, because movies and TV shows, they captivate you for a couple of hours. This story has captivated you for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, there's no comparison to it.
And it's also, I mean, yeah, wrestling is scripted, okay? But this storyline is more real than anything you've ever watched.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many real, true elements. Like, the Usos are real twin brothers who grew up alongside Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns said growing up, those dudes were like triplets, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was Jimmy and Jay always fighting with each other because they were the twin brothers and Roman's breaking it up. You know what I mean? And then you got Solo Sikoa their real life younger brother, 8 years younger than them. Rikishi, the Usos' father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who is it Samu is Roman's father.
Yeah.
Part of the Wild Samoans.
Yeah.
And there's just so many moving parts of this story. That's what I mean. It's like, yes, wrestling is scripted, but they find a way to bring out these real life elements in a way that, you know what I mean? You can compare it to reality TV, but this is the best reality television in the world. This is the best television in the world, in my opinion, because whatever. And I know it's like we're never gonna get certain people to agree with that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's not everybody's cup of tea. But from a story perspective, as an English major, as someone who is like, bro, the story is just so good. So good.
This is truly a story that transcends wrestling. Like, you do not have to be a professional wrestling fan to enjoy this story, as many people who aren't wrestling fans.
Dude, my girlfriend watched the tag match with me, the Money in the Bank match. There was like moments where we're like sitting like kind of across the room from each other. There was like moments where I'd be like, "Hey, you good?" Because she didn't say anything, and she would turn and she'd be like, "No, yeah, I'm just like what?" Like I'm just like so like, dude, she was so in it just by sitting next to me because she can see the real elements and the real emotion.
Yeah.
By not even like really watching it, just catching these glimpses, just being next to me all the time. Like, it's really crazy.
It's so captivating. It's really hard to put into words like how truly amazing this storyline has been, and just like how incredible it is just to go on for this long and to captivate you for 3 years. So we're going to leave it at that. We are super excited to see where the Bloodline story ends. You let us know in the comments. Do you think it's going to end at SummerSlam? Do you think that it's going to end at WrestleMania 40? Do you think Cody's going to win the title next? You let us know all of that good stuff. And you can listen to the Burning Hammer podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Plus, you can watch it on YouTube at The Burning Hammer. We put up a ton of videos on our YouTube as well that is just outside of the actual podcast. And you can follow us on Twitter at The Burnt Hammer. Follow us on Twitch at The Burning Hammer Podcast. And you can follow us on everything else at The Burning Hammer. And that's the best way to stay up to date with when we release new episodes. Plus, we put a ton of social media exclusive content on our social medias. So make sure to follow us and subscribe to us and do all of that good stuff. With that being said, that's going to wrap it up. I'm Mark Izzo. He's Dillon O'Brien. And this has been another episode of the Burning Hammer Podcast. We'll see you next Thursday.